hello world of YouTube, and welcome to another episode of Viral's Movie Reviews, the show where I take a look at movies that you guys suggest, I go to the movies and see, or I feel like discussing. And this month, we're covering territory that isn't too unfamiliar in the YouTube space, but something that I've never covered before: DCOMs. Now, I watched a lot of Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, and the Disney Channel, and in the 90s, I watched a lot of DCOMs. And during the Halloween season, there were some DCOMs that would always get lots of praise. The Halloween Town movies.
Halloween is cool.
Which I adore. And movies like Under Wraps, which are also a lot of fun. You even had My Mom's Dating a Vampire, but one that I never see mentioned a whole lot that I decided to rewatch for the first time in ages for the Halloween times was Phantom of the Megaplex.
Is it a living person at all?
Phantom of the Megaplex strikes again!
A movie that I also decided to expose my girlfriend to, who seemingly had a good time with it, for as cheesy as it was. This movie isn't perfect. There's a lot of issues with it. There's certain scenes where people will say a thing and nothing actually happens.
Hey, that was sweet. Hey, that was sweet.
Extras are doing weird stuff in the background, and every line sounds 80-yard to hell.
In the computer, no straight brains, no trip trees.
We apologize for any inconvenience.
Hey, don't worry, ladies. I'll take care of it.
Chillicothe and Patucas with their bazookas.
But I gotta be honest, this movie was kind of cute to go back and revisit for as outlandish and cheesy as it is. It's weird to see Mickey Rooney in a kid's movie, and he was like the frame, like he was pitched heavily, if I remember correctly, in the advertising. Like, kids knew who he was and like loved old Hollywood enough to recognize Mickey fucking Rooney.
Hello, children.
But I'll be honest, the only old Hollywood star I knew was Shirley Temple because of those goddamn commercials.
Oh my goodness.
But this movie follows a 17-year-old kid who's a manager at a movie theater somehow, who, and this takes a lot of imagination to really fundamentally compartmentalize, to believe, overworks himself and doesn't want to be a regular kid. He wants to commit his life to work, as if there's ever been a teenager in existence who's actually been that way. And he works at this Megaplex, who is hosting a Hollywood-style premiere for an upcoming feature film, and yet the night that it's happening, chaos erupts, and every theater seemingly has its own issues, and they have to stop all of the issues while figuring out who the Phantom really is. Is it the old guy, Mickey Rooney, who doesn't work there anymore but still hangs around and has a creepy little grotto in the basement that he just hangs out in sometimes?
I see you've discovered my little hideaway.
Or is it the projectionist who is overworked and underappreciated for the work that he does? I like a lot of the characters in this movie for as over-the-top as they are, and I like that the movie takes the time to, like, introduce them all to you and give you their one character trait that they will showcase throughout the entire movie.
Freaking out because our theater owner and Sean's personal idol, Wolfgang Niedermeyer, scored like the coup of the century.
I need one of us on either side and one in back, or someone's gonna end up with a major hernia, okay?
That's Ricky Larry, or as we call him, Ricky Rules. No matter what you're doing, Ricky's got the procedure for it.
Backwards, and it crushed them, and one kid got killed, and the other one's lost a bunch of fingers and toes and junk.
That's Terry Tatora, nicknamed Scary Terry. She's got 100 stories to tell, and all of them end in death and destruction. Hey, Mark, could you please sweep down the carpet for me? With the broom, you mean? Mark Jeffries. Or as I call him, question mark.
Like Racy Lacey, who's just always on the go looking for something to do. Or a guy like Question Mark, who asks every question instead of saying a regular sentence across the board.
Mark, take over.
You mean me? Folks, I'm really, really sorry. You're gonna have to clear, please. We have this really, really big...
This movie is over the top as hell. It definitely feels like it was made in the year 2000, with especially the fashion statements. The clothes that everybody wears in this movie just feel like they are a relic of their time. Especially the younger brother, who dresses like he's ready to be a background extra in an Aaron Carter music video.
Get up for school, you're gonna be late!
I didn't go into this movie expecting high-grade cinema, but watching it with an analytical eye and kind of seeing it from like a nostalgic perspective definitely reminded me of a simpler time in my life. And it was a nice revisit. I don't know if it's as well constructed as Halloween Town, because I will say the special effects in that movie, some of which are still really good, this movie has nothing of that caliber. You know, the Phantom himself looks like they bought the costume at like a Party City or like a Michael's that, you know, the day before they were shooting. You know, again, the ADR-ass dialogue from everyone just reads that it's a lesser funded movie in the Disney Channel catalog than others that they seemingly wanted to pour a lot of their resources into. But I like a lot of this movie. I like the callbacks to the old Phantom of the Opera. I love the gothic score that coats a lot of the movie. Even if it gets a little extreme at some points with its horror stings. You know, this was a fun movie to get nostalgic to, and I feel like I wanted to sit down and talk about it and tell you all about it because, yeah, it's cheesy, yeah, it's a kid's movie, but I feel like it's one of those DCOMs that not a whole lot of people talk about. It's got its issues, and it has some logic threads that just don't make sense from a film perspective, like the scene where they're in the tornado movie and the Phantom makes a tornado happen with one fan and a giant Megaplex, like, theater.
Plus, the mom-boyfriend subplot is really meaningless in the movie in general.
It's a fun movie. Got some charm. Got some fun moments, and I like its own way of trying to pay respect to old Hollywood. Not my favorite DCOM, but not the worst by any stretch of the imagination. It's a lot of fun, even if it is over the top as hell.
Enjoy your show. Tell my theater that even when I'm not here, its magic is never far from my heart.
Now, have you seen this movie? Do you enjoy it? Do you think that it's a top tier DCOM, or are you like me and think it's just kind of a B tier that kind of gets overlooked to a large degree? Let me know in those comments down below. Did you like this particular review? Let me know. I think that if you're wanting another movie to binge in your Halloween extravaganza and you're looking through some old kids movies, you can't go wrong with Phantom of the Megaplex in my eyes. It's one that I feel like you should at least expose yourself to at least once, even if maybe the who the Phantom is kind of comes at you from a mile away if you really think about the plot and how it's been told. But it's still fun, nonetheless. If you like this particular review, be sure to give it a like. If you want to see more of my music, gaming, and general nerdery content, be sure to subscribe. Special thanks to my patrons. If you want to join their ranks to get early access to content, exclusive content, or to help drive the community, it's linked in the description. I'm going to get out of here. I've been Viral Rack. You guys have good days, lives, and situations, and I'll see you another day.